I would have to say that's the number one thing you want to do with this album. All right. If you're going to listen to this album, if you haven't heard it yet, you're saying that I'm giving it a definite thumbs up. I love this album, great music, and you're prepared to listen to ass kicking rock and roll from track one to track two. All right. You're ready to do that. I think you're going to love this album. All right. But you got to mentally prepare yourself. If you're from an older generation, you kind of set in your ways. And yeah, I used to do that too, but I was a dumb kid. But if you can put your mind into it, that's the other thing I wanted to end off with tonight. Everybody seems to forget, because they're also criticizing, should you be talking about this stuff? Well, of course, today, right? And everybody seems to forget that Alice Cooper is a character, folks. All right? Alice Cooper, even before Vince changed his name, Alice Cooper in the Alice Cooper Band was the fictional character. We're not sure what he is. What is Alice Cooper? Is he human? Not quite. As a matter of fact, visually speaking, in my opinion, Alice Cooper has grown into his looks. The older Vince gets, the scarier and more Alice Cooper-y he looks. Aging absolutely is a plus for this character, and the character is immortal. 1 second, he's speaking how he's certain death and desperado, or he loves the dead. No one individual. What is he? A human Beetlejuice going through these miniature little stories that the Alice Cooper Band gave us. See, people seem to think that, yeah, this is what we believe in. Alice Cooper has said, the man, in many interviews, that what is in the songs is closer to like watching a horror movie. You know, Michael Jackson tried to get away with that. You know, he was one of Jehovah's Witnesses. He knew he was going to get in trouble with his congregation by putting out the Thriller video. So at the first, he put, you know, I do not believe in the occult in any other way, blah, blah, blah. Because he was trying to stay out of trouble with, you know, the people in his religion. But, you know, his common sense won out because it was a scary movie. Okay, but he got all kinds of shit for that. All right. That was too much for some people. If you're that kind of minded person, you're probably not going to like this album. I'm not cutting down being that way. Some people just want, look, I live the life straight and narrow, right? I don't have time for foolishness in my life, Michael. But if you're able to create a sense of a suspension of disbelief, that's what a magician always counts on for you. He creates a suspension of disbelief that, by gum, that's magic. He somehow creates that illusion. If you can do that within yourself and listen to this album and just have fun, folks, I think you're going to have a great time. Now, I wanted to kind of show you what you get with this puppy. Basically, first of all, the cover's wonderful. It's designed to look like a movie poster. And all the credits on there, you know. I mean, I love it. When they're talking about Glenn Buxton, it says, and featuring a special appearance. It's like a movie, right? And I love what it says on the bottom here. You know, the return album the world was afraid of. Pure Alice wonderment. Now, this is indeed one of the limited versions. By the way, the limited version are limited to, I think it was 5,000? Was it 5,000 or 2,000 copies? All right. So, and I tried to find what my number was. It wasn't on the dead wax, and it wasn't back here unless it's being covered by this damn sticker that they put on it. Right. But the artwork is wonderful. And this was the first chance I had a chance to take a look. Look at that snake. Black Mamba. Isn't that wonderful? And then all the information, look at all that wonderful information you can peruse as you go through the album. So as far as the album cover, I love the texture. All right, it's not high gloss. I didn't want it to be high gloss. I was hoping it wouldn't be high gloss. That's nice. Semi gloss at best. There's a almost gloss look to it, but it's really a flat finish. I love that. Those are my favorite kind of finish on albums usually. I'll go for a high gloss if there's a reason, an artistic reason for it to be high gloss, and it even alludes to the artwork in the album. Now, this is, and I'm glad they didn't do that. Side A. How would they do that? They would go side A, side C, and then the other one to have B and D, so you can stack it, because nobody does that anymore. Remember some of the albums used to do that? I hate that. I just want to grab the first disc, you listen to the first two sides, and that's what you can do on this album. Now, the reason I'm pulling these out is to give you an idea of what this vinyl, I'm only going to pull out this one. They're both identical. They have different artwork, all right? And the artwork is very cool. That looks indicative of the inner sleeve, or the inner workings there. But if you notice this, it is translucent even. You can see through this. It's a foggy image, but it's wonderful. I thought it was just going to be like a painted yellow, right? And so you can look through it. You don't see anything. I mean, it's like looking through a Japanese door. You can kind of see there's a light source behind there, and you can see through the light source that you wouldn't be able to see on a black or heavily dark colored vinyl. So I love the fact that they made it semi-translucent. So I'm very happy with the packaging. Once again, the only caveat I have is as far as the packaging, the way that it is, given to us and everything, would be my criticism on the fact that it is a 45 RPM record, and by today's standards, I guess that would make it a double album if you think about it, because 54 minutes would not have fit on a regular album. Matter of fact, the best you could get was maybe 3 sides, and they didn't do it like that back in the day. The Alice Cooper band also has 2 other hits. Remember that bonus EP that you get has 2 other songs that are not on the album, right? And they're hoping that for you completists out there, you'll buy both the album and that, or at least be happy with that and just go for that and get everything. They're going to get the market where they don't care if they get CD or vinyl. For those customers, that'll work real well, won't it? For other customers, not so much.